Hello Year 1, I hope that everybody had a really nice weekend. Today in English we are going to be continuing with Tom and the Island of Dinosaurs, and we are going to be writing instructions. So before we start our learning, please can you write the long date, Monday the 15th of June 2020, and the LI to write instructions. For today's lesson you will need your workbook, your story map that you've been making, your pencil for writing, and your purple pen or pencil for corrections. There once was a boy called Tom who lived with his grandfather in an old lighthouse at the edge of the sea. Between them, Tom and his grandfather took care of the lighthouse. On stormy days and moonless nights, they would light the lamp to show passing ships where the rocks were. On sunny days they would go fishing together, and Tom's grandfather would tell him wonderful stories of faraway lands and sea monsters. Now, please can you get your story map and retell the story to your adults? You should have There once was a boy called Tom who lived with his grandfather in an old lighthouse at the edge of the sea. Between them, Tom and his grandfather took care of the lighthouse. On stormy days and moonless nights they would light the lamp to show passing ships where the rocks were. On sunny days they would go fishing together, and Tom's grandfather would tell them wonderful stories of faraway lands and sea monsters. Now we're going to be telling some more of the story. Tom loved his grandfather and the lighthouse very much, but sometimes he longed to sail the wide, grey seas in search of adventure. One day Tom saw something glinting among the wet pebbles on the seashore. It was an old bottle chipped and covered with seaweed, with a message inside. Help! I'm shipwrecked on a faraway island. There are dinosaurs here and a smoking volcano. Please come before it's too late. Help! Thank you, from Katie. Tom rushed home with the message. Oh, poor girl, said his grandfather. She's in terrible trouble. He looked worried. But what can we do? We can't leave the lighthouse. If a storm blows up, we have to light the lamp. Don't worry, grandfather, said Tom. I'll rescue her. So here I've drawn my story map. It says Tom loved his grandfather and the lighthouse very much, but sometimes he longed to sail on the wide grey seas in search of adventure. One day Tom saw something glinting among the wet pebbles on the seashore. It was an old bottle chipped and covered with seaweed. Inside it said, Help! I'm shipwrecked on a faraway island. There are dinosaurs and a smoking volcano. Please come before it's too late, from Katie. Tom rushed home to give the message to his grandfather. Oh no, she's in terrible trouble. But what can we do? We can't leave the lighthouse. If a storm blows up, we need to light the lamp. Don't worry, I'll rescue her, Tom said. So what is the problem in this part of the story? Talk to your adult. What has gone wrong? Katie is stuck on a faraway island with dinosaurs and a smoking volcano, so it's not very safe for her. Can you plan some solutions? How could Tom save Katie? Pause the video and talk to your adult. I thought of some. Tom could call the police to rescue Katie, or he could fly to the island in a hot air balloon like we saw on the front cover, or he could tell his granddad to go to the island. So what we are going to do now is write some instructions for Tom's rescue plan. How could Tom save Katie? So remember, when we are writing instructions, we need how to in our title. So how can Tom save Katie, or how to save Katie? You need your list of equipment. What will Tom take with him? You need your numbers to show the order. Time connectives, first, then, after, next. Your imperative or bossy verbs like put and mix. You need short, clear sentences so that it is easy to follow. And then you could have a diagram or some pictures to show how to complete it. So here is my example, how to save Katie from the faraway island. My equipment is a hot air balloon, rope, water, food, blanket and a map. So number 1, first get equipment like rope, water, map, food and a blanket. Number 2, then put the equipment in the hot air balloon. Number 3, After that, make sure you eat a snack on the journey and drink lots of water. Number 4. Next, look at the map to check that you are going in the correct direction. Number 5. Carefully search the island for Katie. Number 6. When you find Katie, get her to climb the rope into the hot air balloon. Number 7. Finally, give Katie some food and water and fly home. And number 8 is a tip. If you get cold, use the blanket to keep warm. And here is my map. So when we are writing our instructions, here is our checklist. You need your how-to in the title, list of equipment, numbers to show the order, time connectives, your imperative or bossy verbs, your short clear sentences, and your diagram or pictures, and then you can tick it off when you have done all of them. If you are in Mrs. Coker and Miss Thurlow's phonics group, this is your activity. You can get the sheets from the website. Can you talk to your adult about your rescue plan? Then write your list of equipment in here. And next, you can draw the steps of your plan and write simple sentences. If you are in my phonics group, please can you write your instructions and include all of your steps in the checklist. Remember your time connectives and bossy verbs. When you have finished, you can draw a picture here of Tom rescuing Katie or a map of the island. And if you are in Miss Zadie or Mrs. Meta's phonics groups, please can you write your instructions and include all of the steps in the checklist. Remember your time connectives and bossy verbs. When you have finished, you can draw a picture of Tom rescuing Katie or a map of the island. And remember to use adjectives to describe what Tom needs to do. When you have finished, you can draw a map to help Tom with his instructions. And now it is time for the shout-outs. Well done to Nawal for completing some extra work. Well done to Kanat for some lovely adjectives on sunny weather. And well done to Bathanan for an amazing retell of the beginning of the story. Please remember to send your work to the Year 1 email address